to you.
Okay.
Perfect. Not all at once.
The decision to bring Paul on board an obvious one for you, Mark?
Yeah, I think so. Just because we've worked together for the last 2 years and we have a clear idea of how we work well together. We've got different personalities, but we've got the same outlook on the game. So I'm really glad that he's on board, and I think he'll bring a lot to the organisation. I think the players will really enjoy working with him. I think they already responded well to him today, and I think it'll make a big positive step for us going forward.
How do you see the two of you sort of complementing each other?
In various different ways. I think one thing I like with Paul is he's very proactive. He can take care of problems before they really arise, or do things without me telling him or asking him to do things. He's also obviously played at a very high level and gets the respect from players because of that, but then also because of how he treats them and how he prepares his coaching sessions and things like that. So I think with Paul it allows me as well to step back sometimes, which is important to see what's going on and to take time speaking to players. But there's just lots of ways, and we get on well with each other, and that's important.
When did you first cross paths? Were you quite young?
Yeah, he was in Carolina for a few months just at the end of his playing career, and then we kept in touch, and then the second year I was in Carolina he came back and became my assistant.
So you didn't know him from way back when in Scotland?
No, and I think that's part of it which makes the relationship good as well. It's not like we were just necessarily friends, so we're working because we're friends. It's like we've got a mutual respect for one another, and we've become friends over time, but we didn't start working together because we were friends.
This one came quickly, just a day after yesterday.
Yeah.
Is the next one going to be a bit longer?
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit longer. Obviously we've got until January until we start pre-season, so we've got a little bit of time, but it just depends. Hopefully we can work things without it taking too long. You just never know with these things.
Yeah.
Do you have a couple names in mind of people that you're actually interested in?
Yeah.
Is Carl Robinson one of those guys?
No, without any names I wouldn't go into any of that, because I don't think it's fair to the other people that I would be thinking about, or the clubs or anything like that they're involved in. So as soon as we get somebody, then obviously again we'll announce it, and we'll get it out there, and hopefully we'll find the right people, because the staff's very important, and then their roles are very important, and then hopefully they can all make the players better and help the players perform on the field. That's ultimately what it's about, helping them enjoy their work and hopefully improve as players. So
with those names in mind though, have you spoken to them or interviewed them at all?
Yeah, I've spoken to a few people that I think could be good candidates for here, but I think it'll take a few weeks probably, but hopefully not too much longer than that.
It's a only second day training. The players are trying to impress the coaches.
Yeah.
Will there be more communication from you to the players of what you want from them?
Yeah, a little bit more. I think coming into this 2 weeks, it's not so much about coaching them as it will be later. There'll be much more coaching. But we did have some key themes that we wanted to get across today, and I think the players responded really well to it. And now we want to see them build on that tomorrow, so hopefully not repeat all the same information again every day. Of course, there is repetition. I think that's one of the ways you improve, but hopefully we'll see some of those things that we worked on today coming into the games tomorrow, and then the games at the weekend, and so on.
Could you get into some of those a little bit in terms of the?
Yeah, one of the main themes today was just regarding penetrating runs and penetrating passes, because I think that the team's very comfortable just keeping possession without ever making runs behind them, ever playing balls behind. And so, yesterday we played small-sided games and there was hardly ever any goals scored, and that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for making it hard for the defenders, running behind them, making different types of movements, and so we worked on that. And then just the speed of our passing, we worked on that a lot today. Striking the ball hard, keeping it on the ground, which allows your tempo of your passing to improve. People like to see possession soccer, but to do that you have to pass the ball really fast, otherwise it's of no value. It just keeps possession without ever going anywhere. If you move the ball fast, then that allows you to move the opposition, which then creates openings, and then you can create chances. So one of the things in the last number of years is the teams I've coached have been the highest scoring teams in the league, and even in the country, and I would love to continue that, and these are some of the things that are important to making that happen.
A week's not a long time to try and meet with 30 players. Do you hope to at least have brief one-on-one conversations with everyone, or is that just not realistic?
I think over the course of the next number of days, I think I can meet with most people. Obviously it won't be for a prolonged period of time, but I think I can meet with most of them, and some of them just get to know them as I can. There's natural breaks, and depending on how quickly I get back to the locker room after training each day. I can have more time, and then before training, then I can have time as well, and that can all help, because I'm trying to get to know them. They're trying to get to know me. Most importantly, just want them to know that I do care about them and about their life and their family, and do all I can to help them. Obviously that becomes easier once we know who's going to be here and who's going to be moving on, but we'll work on that over the next few weeks as well.
Anyone in particular stand out today?
I thought a few guys did well today. I mean, not one particular guy, but I think a lot of them did pick up on what we were working on, and yeah, I thought Russell Tybert did well today. I think he's a young player that I'd like to see developing, and I think he's had some injuries this year, but he did well in the sessions, and a number of guys did well.
You have the inter-squad game on Saturday. How do you set up your lineup? Is it more about pairings and see how guys play one another, or is it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I need to think about that just a little bit more based on what we see tomorrow as well. But yeah, I think try and look at a couple of partnerships that maybe have been working already, or a couple that I think could work. But more so just give everybody a chance to play, and see how it looks, and try and get a couple of key themes maybe that we've worked on today and that we'll work on tomorrow, and hope that those things show up in the game. All right,
thanks.